everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Rouse, author of We've Got Tonight, The Life and Times of Notorious Groupie, and these other books right here. You guys, go down in that description because I have cool merchandise, which is pretty funny. The link is down there to my Patreon, my merchandise, Cocktail Beer of the Day, where you can find all of my books and a bunch of other stuff. So you guys, go down like it was the back lounge of the 80s. Because trust me, that was fun. And everybody say hello to baby Beluga today. He's joining us from the background. Hi, baby. He's such a big, handsome boy. Okay, and today, you guys, as usual, thank you so much for all the love, for all the support, for all the new people coming and getting to know the community and becoming part of this awesome community, and to the people who make up the community. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support. You guys are awesome. And speaking of awesome, and maybe not so awesome, we have got a little reading today, not from my book, but from Reddit. We are going to read a few things that I found off Reddit today. One of them being a list of rock stars, of groupies saying how rock stars or pop stars were in bed. Now, considering this is an old list, but this is the only lists I can find, because these days, most people, they don't do research. They just plagiarize somebody else's article, slap a few extra words in it, call it theirs. So this has been spinning around since 2015, but you know what? It's still true. And today, we are going to have a little Modelo Chelada, because I was feeling like a Bloody Mary beer. And you guys, these are so good. I love a good chelada. Now, my favorite shades, they make a really good michelada, but they only make limited batches. So, this is what I will settle for instead. All right, everybody, grab your cojones, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. So good. Now, I did add a little pepper and stuff to my glass, so it makes it a little more spicy. Because I like spicy. It explains a lot. All right, and speaking of explaining a lot, let's get on with this little list. And again, I will put the list to this, the link down in the description to this. And we're going to start with none other than the boy wonder, Justin Bieber. So it says, Justin Bieber makes chicks sign an NDA and sucks at sex. No surprise. What year is this? So this is 2013. So Justin was really, really young. So being that young, that new to his own body, his own sexuality, his own age, everything, I would imagine that, yeah, he probably did suck pretty bad at sex. And if you did, and you're that big of a pop star, you probably will make someone sign an NDA because you don't want anybody to know how bad you sucked in bed. Do you, Jonathan from Korn or Bret Michaels? I didn't sign no NDA. Those things were not around in my time. But kind of makes sense. Like I said, it says, summer 2013, my friends and I met Justin Bieber at Music Nightclub in Toronto. One of my friends ended up leaving with Justin and his boys to go back to the Hazelton Hotel. She ended up sleeping with Justin and multiple boys from his crew. Well, you go, honey. You do you. You do it Sweet Connie style if that's what you like. No problems. There was like 5 girls there, and they made them all sign contracts and took away their cell phones. He referred to himself as JB and made everyone sit around and listen to him sing for like an hour while he continuously smoked a shit ton of weed. Too funny. So, okay, I can see why Justin Bieber would do it, but why would the crew guys have him? Like his entourage or the crew guys? Because, you know, most girls don't brag about that. I mean, I'm friends with the crew guys, don't get me wrong. We all know how much I love my crew guys, and I've dated crew guys, so, because we're all part of the same damn family, aren't we? Sure are. Then the other one is, I know a girl who slept with Justin Bieber about a year ago. It doesn't say the year it was posted, so I assume 2015 as well. Super hot Swedish girl. I guess he's still big, not super hated over there. She had to sign an NDA. She said he was super lazy in bed, average size, pretty much what you expect, I guess. But yeah, I'm thinking, because I don't even know, he's probably 30, so 7 years ago, yeah, Yeah, he probably sucked in bed because being that young when he was, oh, here's one. Being that young when he started, I don't expect Justin Bieber to be good. And by looking at him, because he's pretty small, don't expect him to be big in the basket department either. No big baskets for Justin and no 5-star reviews for you either. Now, this one we've all heard. Lars Ulrich allegedly has a small dick, and according to this person, which makes sense considering all this Napster bullshit. Big time inferiority. No, Lars doesn't have an inferiority complex, trust me. I've known Lars for a long time. He does not feel insecure about himself. Okay, yeah, maybe he knows his dick isn't that big, but let's face it, folks. Look at all the hot chicks he's got. And he's had me. I mean, don't compare to the women he's been married to or dated and stuff. All beautiful women. Some women don't mind small dicks. Which is why Lars, but some do. Maybe that's why Lars has had 4 wives. Because I can attest for it. It's not the biggest. It's not a hot dog. It's probably definitely a Vienna sausage. So it says, we were just talking about this tonight. My cousin slept with Lars Ulrich about 10 years ago. So that would have been around 2005. She said he was sort of hot, but really had a small dick. Also, he managed to get naked from the waist down before she even got to the bedroom. Easily forgettable is how she describes it. So, I love Lars to death, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure there's people he is wonderful with, but again, this goes back to when rock stars want to get off, they get off. When they like you, they give a fuck if you get off. And obviously we know which one she was. And Lars Ulrich's sexual theory. Takes a guy 15 minutes to come if he has not had sex before in the day and does not know the person. 30 minutes to come if he has had sex before in the day, does not know the person. 45 minutes if he's not had sex before in the day and he does know the person. An hour if he has had sex before in the day and he does know the person. So that's Lars Ulrich's sexual theory, L-U-S-T. So ladies, and whoever your friend was, whoever posted that, DK Schrute, go tell your friend. She was probably in that category. All right, this chick does not give a fuck. And this girl, I love her to death. Christy. Okay, not even a throwaway. I fucked Flava Flav in a seedy toilet room out the back of the ANU Refactory Bar in 1998. I'm not proud. I try not to tell people, but on the bright side, I didn't get gonorrhea. All right. That's, I love her positive attitude. That's pretty cool. We all like to walk away clean and not having to take some sort of pill and make a few phone calls. So well done her. We've all been in seedy toilets, CBGB's, backstage, the Speedway. I've never had sex in the seedy toilet room. Back lounge. They can be comparatively equal. And here's one about John Mayer. A girl I knew slept, quote unquote, that's what they have. And like I said, I'll put the link down in the description so you can read it. Slept with John Mayer after the concert for Virginia Tech. I say slept because he had her lie on the bed, then he jacked off on her, then he just left. Again, this goes back to the category, if a rock star really, really likes you, then he's going to make sure you like him too. But if he's just needing to get off, well, this is the scenario. And I'm sorry for her. But you know what? What she didn't say is how big it was, because I've heard John Mayer's huge. I mean, look at the women he's got. So he's satisfying someone somehow, some way. Now, I've heard he doesn't go, So if he doesn't do that, then no, not worth it. We all know that from my Bret Michaels story. So, but yeah, anybody knows the size of John Mayer, let me know, because I've heard he's huge. That's what I want. A 2023 follow-up to, okay, he jerked off on you, got his little children all over you, wiped it off with the hotel towel, but how big was it? That's what I want to know. All right, who's the next one? Shocked the chick from KFC's Wu-Tang blog earlier today hasn't shown up yet. Just kidding. Wait, what is that? I don't know what that is. Is that it? That's all we've got? Is John Mayer? No, I know there's more than this. Hold on. Justin Bieber. Wow. And I know there's more to this on the list, but on the original Reddit list. So let me see if I can find this original Reddit list, because this was pretty funny. Okay, so I found one of the original Reddit threads. See, view more comments. Now all I see, oh, deleted. So they're all deleted. See, this is kind of what makes me mad, because like I say, people just regenerate the same lists over and over and over and over without doing research. And yeah, it says, this one is, one of my ex-girlfriend's roommates slept with Lil Wayne back in college after a show in D.C. When he had finished, he threw a $100 bill at her and kicked her off the tour bus. I would have flicked his butt. Oh, I would have, if she was still down on her knees, I would have flicked his balls and pinched his inner thigh. Trust me, ladies, if you ever feel degraded, because not cool. And it's already bad enough that, you know, groupies get, hold on, wait. Okay, hold on, let me go back. Because it's former groupies of Reddit. What was your experience? Okay, let's go to this one. Let's see what we bring up here. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so that's Lil Wayne throwing money at her. Oh my God, I would have junk punched him so hard he'd be pissing from his nose for the rest of his life. Okay, now we have one from Dee Ramone. This is someone we don't hear very often about. Let me take a drink for that. I mean, I've met the Ramones and stuff, but they, in my era, they were not that big. Joey had already had cancer, and Johnny was married to Joey's ex-girlfriend, Linda, and the whole 9 yards. So don't hear a whole lot of groupie stories about these guys. All right. So during a European stop in Germany, the Ramones were hanging out, drinking, smoking herb, and partying with underage girls. What year is this? Dee was both a gentleman and a scumbag about the situation, which we've all seen Dee Ramone in his interviews, and I can see that. And we all know Dee Ramone used to be 53rd and 3rd is about a job he would have to do in desperation for drugs and money. 53rd and 3rd, and he was the one the boys never got picked out of the boys for pay. So, okay. He said, within minutes, I had a young babe in a miniskirt sitting on my knee and rubbing her private parts on my leg. I want you so bad, Dee, she whispered to me then, kissing my lips. Do you like to fuck, she said. Do you like me? Yes, please. And my sister, she likes you too very much. She gives great. Which is very important to do. Do you want us both? By the time we left the dressing room 2 hours later, there were 44 empty bottles of beer and 7 empty bottles of wine trashed on the floor, but no empty condom wrappers. Everyone in our party is married or in a long-term relationship, but there's no harm in accepting a blowjob once in a while, and that's not cheating for the guy. So that's The Legend of a Rock Star, a memoir. So that was probably Dee. Now, with this one, I kind of take Dee's story with a grain of salt, because he does like to hide certain facts. Did he probably have a wild time in that dressing room? Oh, no doubt. No doubt. If it was the 70s, were the groupies around Sable's star, Lori Maddox? Could have been them. But I bet you it wouldn't have been Sable because she was with Johnny. But we could ask our friend Diana Williams, Dee. She might know. She was around those guys, one of the rare groupies that tells the stories. Okay, Steven Adler. He was the drummer of Guns N' Roses from 85 to 90, and he lived the life of a wild man. One day, Adler hired a scumbag named Rocco as his assistant. He writes, cops had come pounding on the door. They had obtained a warrant and searched my house. When I asked why, I was horrified by the explanation. My ex-assistant, Rocco, the pervert. This terminal whack job, who had tried to videotape unsuspecting people in my bathroom through a hole in the ceiling, had just been arrested for suspicion of murder. Well, Steven Adler was on drugs, and drugs do impair our choices, but maybe that explains why Guns N' Roses had him in the first place. He said, what the fuck? Apparently he was kidnapping girls, drugging them, and then videotaping the unconscious victims in various positions and sex acts. Well, okay, fucking Marilyn Manson, R. Kelly, have you, what's his name? You know, that's in jail for all that? Well, Cosby got out. Never mind. But what the Cosby is that? They raided his home and found dozens of videotapes containing the graphic rape footage. They also found pictures of my ex-girlfriend, Annalise, and my mom, Deanna. Whoa. Okay, I wasn't expecting to go down this road, but holy, I didn't hear this. And this is from his own book. Holy crap. My mom. Rocco had been spying on us and taking pictures the whole time he had been staying with me. It just makes me wonder how he hired the guy. Dude, met him at the Rainbow one night. Dude, you're cool. You should totally be... Yeah, nope. Oh, here's one on Neil Diamond. Okay, we all know my Neil Diamond story. If not, go down, look for it. I've met Neil Diamond. He tried. Oh, and this is about Sweet Connie, who had him. So, this is going to be a true. Sweet Connie, the aforementioned famous groupie from Little Rock. So, I'm out on the tour bus smoking dope and blowing roadies. Typical day for Connie. And who comes into the back lounge? Neil. Fucking Diamond. Neil looks me up and down and nods his approval. Then he gets high with us and disappears backstage. A few minutes later, his manager says he wants to see me in his dressing room. So I knock on the door and there's Neil waiting for me in a blue robe. And I didn't just suck him. There was fucking two. Okay, and this is from hers. A source, the oldest living Confederate groupie, tells all now. We've all tried to find this book. It's not in print, so... But 100% Connie does not lie. Connie was never ashamed. That's just not who she is. She doesn't make shit up. 100% this is true because I was smoking weed with Neil Diamond. So 100% believe this is true. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see if there's another good story. Woo! So this kind of took a turn from just blabbing on rock stars. Ooh. Okay, this is Tupac from his bodyguard. I couldn't count the number of hoochies Pac slept with while I was working with him. See, this is one of the difference between rap tours and rock tours. We don't get called hoochie by the rock stars. I don't have enough fingers and toes because it would have to be in the 3 digits. Okay. For a rock star, especially someone like Tupac, the 3 digits in 10 years, that's really not that much. Suffice it to say, if you were a groupie and you wanted a piece of Pac, chances are you'd get it. See, this is what I always say, guys. Groupies definitely have their rock stars served onto them with a silver platter. You think it's the other way around? Oh, no, darling. It goes both ways. And this kind of just proves it, not just for rock groupies, but rap groupies, too. He didn't disappoint many fans. Well, that's good to know. Maybe he didn't disappoint them between the sheets either. So, I mean, I guess he's just doing his due diligence as, you know, say thank you to the fans. I hope he really said thank you and there was no tap, tap, tap. Okay, he fucked the extras. Oh, every single video we worked on, he fucked many women on the set. He fucked the extras, the leads, you name it. And we did a lot of videos. As far as movies, it's the same story. In Italy, he fucked 3 women over there. Only 3? That's a slow day for Tupac. On the How Do You Want It video, he fucked women all that day. And then he had a sex party the last night. All right. Hey, everybody was there. If they were consenting adults, no problem. You know, it's not my thing, but there are swingers club where you pay hundreds of dollars to go into, so. Tupac was just at it for free. Ron Hightower, the porn director, threw an after party that was really an orgy. He snuck out under a table and went to the party. He didn't want any security that night. Suge Norris, Roy, shit nearly every death row employee. Suge Norris, Roy, shit nearly every death row employee. Called me that night looking for him. I knew where he was, and it looked as if he had company, so to speak. Had a lot of company, apparently. Okay, we know Led Zeppelin. But, you know, that kind of sounds to me more like a typical rap after party kind of groupie shindig. Like I said, there's kind of a difference, and not that this doesn't happen in rock and roll, but it's not, for me, it didn't happen unless I chose to be in a threesome or foursome or whatever. We didn't have these big parties like you see in that movie Rockstar. That's all farce. But in rap, that's more liable to happen. And I don't mean that weird, but okay, let's see. Okay, we know about the plaster casters and Jimi Hendrix. So that's kind of it. I don't know who Nazriel Ariel. No idea who that is, Nazriel Ariel. So I'm not even going to bother reading that. So let's see if we can find any more. 5 of the wildest bedroom stories in rock history. Oh! So, let's see. Guns N' Roses' Rocket Queen. We all know that story. We all know Cynthia Plasticaster. Mother Lover. Ooh, this sounds interesting. Somehow these stories seem to come full circles because we're revisiting both Guns N' Roses and David Bowie. See, Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash was a youngster. His father was a famed album cover designer, while his mother was a costume designer whose clients included the likes of David Bowie. As Slash once recalled, as an 8-year-old, he happened to walk in on his mother and David Bowie, witnessing them both in a state of undress. I caught them naked once, Slash said. They had a lot of stuff going on, but my perspective at 8 years old was limited. Looking back on it, I knew exactly what was going on. Because he probably had his own groupies and he did the same thing Mama and David Bowie were doing. Maybe he should take a DNA. Just thinking it's all. Well, David Bowie never really opened up about the incident. We'd like to think of an alternative reality where Bowie and Mrs. Hudson filing resulted in him becoming a father figure. Well, no, that didn't happen. Celebrity sex tapes. So yeah, these are all just kind of, and if you notice, the majority of these wild nights with the sex tapes are the 80s. The 80s rock stars, you know, they just kind of... Ooh, 6 rock stars. Okay, this is GQ Australia. I'm going to see if there's... This says 6 rock star sex stories that you haven't heard yet. So, let's see. We heard that. David Bowie and Slash's mother. Motley Crue's excellent scheme. Now, I talked about this before, that in the 80s, Motley Crue had a bet to see how long they could go without showering and how many groupies they could get. Well, this was... Yeah, this was part of them. Egg burritos. Oh, okay. Mariah as lube. James Packard dodged a bullet because Mimi is beyond crazy. Example, this is Mariah Carey. When giving birth, she demanded a live recording of her song Fantasy. Oh, this is not a sex thing. Okay, David Lee Roth, groupie bingo. Okay, and I've told you guys about this. This is nothing new. Insane Clown Posse, Marilyn Manson's Rulebook. We've heard all this, so these are not new sex stories, people. For all of you writing these stories, you need to come wandering my way because I've got new ones. These are all ones that have been tossed around for the past decade. But some of them are pretty fun and some of them are true. That kind of, whoa, that whole Steven Adler with his assistant thing, that took a really dark turn. Didn't expect that. And his mom. Oh, I bet you Steven Adler flipped the fuck out. Oh, I bet he did. I so would have. Because, oh, here's one. What shady things have rock stars done? Oh, let's read this real quick before we go. Okay, we know about Ted Nugent, the ever so staunch Save the Children, as he's getting custody of his 15, 16, 17-year-old girlfriends, all of whom his wives were all underage when he met him. So we all know that. We all know he likes his women a lot younger than him. What's the best way? Lori Maddox. We all know about Lori. Yeah, I mean, this is all, like I said, it's all the same rehashed bullshit. So, yeah. Yeah, nothing new. Nothing new. And you know what? I say that because, and we're the real, like, real 80s groupies. Because we had a lot of fun and did some pretty wild stuff. But it was our own accord. We were never drugged or just sitting in a room when the mud shark happened. So, all right, you guys. There's some stories about the rock stars who have slept with groupies. Some of the other reactions. Because I kind of like to always, you know, hear other groupie stories. So if you have some other groupie stories that you want to tell them, go down in that description, because I'm always happy to have you guys on. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. You can just do, you know, one of my blackout episodes, so we can just talk on the voice call or something like that. So if you have some stories you want to share, put them down here. I'd love to hear them. Let's talk about them. Let's compare some notes, because I can compare some notes with some of those people, and yeah, I can say some of them are true. Justin Bieber, not a big shocker. You know what I mean? Lil Wayne throwing that $100 bill. Oh, yeah, I would have smacked him so hard he would have been at his next gig in 10 minutes. I don't care how many states away that was. Ooh, But there you go. Ooh, famous groupies of Reddit. What was your experience? Let's see what this one says. Ooh, Darius Rucker. Okay, we haven't heard anything. We're not done yet. Okay. We're going to talk Darius Rucker. A girl I used to have an on and off again fling with had sex with Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. She said he was a fantastic lay, a perfect gentleman, and even sang to her in the morning as he made her breakfast. On the way, he thanked her out for being a good host and said she had a lovely house. Oh, so she took him out. She took him home. That doesn't surprise me as Darius. The thing that does surprise me of Darius Rucker, that he was fantastic in bed. I think he'd be more vanilla. So that kind of surprised me right there. Does it surprise me that he would make you breakfast and sing to you in the morning? Oh, hell no. That sounds like a guy who cries after sex. All right, guys, so that was one last little tidbit that we squeezed in there. So, okay, everybody, like I said, go down, tell me your stories if you want to have them on here, and I can just go in and read them. It's all up to you. Just tell me how you like it, or private message me, depending how you want. Let's talk some more funny stories of rock and roll, not just mine. All right, you guys, don't forget, for everybody who's just joining me, go down in that description, hit that subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, and hit my bells. Let's keep us growing, because we're doing a great job growing. We're increasing our views and stuff. So you guys, let's keep going. Let's get up to 2,000. Let's grow, because we can do it. And you guys, send out good vibes for Happy Madison to get in contact with me, because, oh, I did something. That's right. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's topic. Hope you got a little giggle out of it. Like I said, go down, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, my bells, and we'll see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.